Why, hello there. It is Friday, the 19th of February, and I'd love to hear where you are watching from. What city, what country. I actually haven't done a live for like a week or so. I've just been crazy, immensely busy with work, but I wanted to try to get one in this week, and that will mean we can do more next week as well. So go ahead and let me know where you are watching from, the location. And if it's your first time watching a live. There's always a little bit of a delay here, but yeah, hey Vicky from Phoenix, Arizona. I've been to Phoenix a couple of times on my way to Sedona. So yeah, hope all the weather is good. And let's see if anyone else, I know we can see people. Oh, we got Veronica from the Gold Coast of Australia. Oh my goodness, that's one place I would love to go. New Zealand and Australia are one of the two places I'd probably like to visit next. First timer for Veronica. Well, welcome. Let's make sure it is a good and great one, because I want to be talking to you about the differences of emotion and belief and the misconceptions of them. We also have Laura from St. Louis. What's MO? Oh my goodness, what's MO as a state? Can I get it before someone tells me? Maruzi? What's it called? You have to let me know. What is the MO state? I can think of an M as Minnesota, but I don't think St. Louis is in Minnesota. Missouri. I almost said, did you hear me try to sound out Missouri? So I'm going to claim that as a win, that I actually got that one. Just not all the words in the right order. So welcome to the cool Laura, or this video live stream. And as I was just saying, it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm just getting back into doing a live. If you are keen and ready to go deeper into your transformation, go ahead and download my app. All you gotta type in is hypnosis and Joseph, and it's gonna come up right near the top of your app store. And that just means you'll be able to get lots of free audios, well over 500 episodes of hypnosis, is well over 100 now, and lots of coaching. Plus there are in-app purchases for very small amounts, microtransactions, to be able to go a little bit deeper into it. And also, if you are on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe, because once you subscribe, you put that kind of little thumb there and that bell there, it just means you'll get notified when I do go live, and that just means we can connect in a very powerful way. Vicky says she's had it for years, I'm presuming my app, so that's awesome, Vicky. Hopefully it's been serving you well at times when you need it. So I may or may not use this as a podcast episode, and I'm going to treat it like I am. And along the way, I want you to think of some questions. Maybe if I can help you think of those questions, and that means when we get to the question part, if there are any, I'll go ahead and answer your question. But let me go ahead and do a bit of a live intro, so to speak. Veronica said, me too. If you can hear my dog kind of scratching right there, he's got his little cone on. Veronica says, me too, Vicky. Love Joe's work. It's the reason I sleep. Awesome. I really appreciate that. So let's go into this episode. So I'll start it as if I'm about to do a podcast. So welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 514. And today we're going to be talking to you about beliefs versus emotions, where they fit in, why they're important, how we can get things wrong, and what we have to do to be able to fix it. So if we think of what a belief is, a belief dictates how you see the world around you. When we think of emotions, it can be obviously negative ones and it can be positive ones. Anger, sadness, fear, guilt, hurt, frustration, shame, and all those things, to the happiness, to the bliss, to the excitement, to the passion, to the happiness. Now, most of the time people really talk about emotions. If you go into like manifestation aspects and subjects, they always say feel the feeling. Now, I totally believe that when you're in a state, now an emotional state in a good way, you are more likely to achieve your desires. But the problem is when we're only fixated on an emotional state, we are negating something very, very important, and that would be our belief system. So when you read those books, or if you listen to podcasts, or like the things like The Secret or any other manifestation things, sometimes, not all, but sometimes we've been taught to be fixated on regulating our emotions. And I agree with that, but it's not the only thing. Because let's just say your whole state of bliss and abundance, let's just say those were your two states, because you want to be able to feel great and be wealthy, then you'd be thinking and feeling that state, radiating it, which is good and great. And the problem is, if you have a belief system that is in direct conflict with that emotion, like I don't deserve to be rich, I don't deserve to have money, or I have a belief about money that it's a root of evil, or there's never enough, or I don't deserve to be happy and therefore not deserve to have that feeling of bliss. So we've got to really get clear that on the one hand, it is absolutely important to really radiate the emotions that we feel, because that's going to regulate our state of mind. But if you have a counteracting belief system, you'll actually be creating a bigger conflict, because you'll be radiating that feeling, but on the inside, the belief negates it. And that will cause you to feel scarcity, because you're like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling the emotion that I want, but it's not happening. So it begins to add to another level of limiting beliefs. And not only was it I'm not good enough, or I'm not capable of having abundance, now it's, well, I've been doing what I've been told to just feel the feeling of what I want and just kind of feel that emotion of gratitude all the time. And it didn't work. So now I've got scarcity. I've got doubt. I've got a conflict there, which will actually feed back. Oh, well, that's why I'm not worthy. That's why there's not enough money in the world. That's why I can never be happy. So that one belief system, which could be, well, I'm not, fill in the blank, will actually create a misguidance or an intention and attention to the feeling. And therefore, when we don't get it, it makes us feel more conflicted. And it then causes us to have a deeper belief, a deeper scarcity. So what do we do here? Because on the one level, it is fantastic to radiate the emotion you want, to feel the feeling that you want to be able to feel, whatever you think of your goal and outcome. What is that feeling that it would give you, the end feeling, and yes, radiate from that place. But you have to be clear on the beliefs you hold about yourself, as well as the outside world. By self, I mean, I am not enough. An external one would be, money is the root of all evil. It's not directly applicable to you, it's something external. So, with that, we've got to make sure, what are our beliefs? So if you think of the thing that you want, ask yourself, what belief do I have about myself? Well, what's the real issue here? Do I deserve it? Am I worthy of it? Am I capable of it? Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being found out. All of those things you want to be clear of. And then you want to start to get to work on those. When you get to work on the belief, now let's just say you resolved whatever limiting belief that you have about yourself or the goal, the outcome. If you were to be free of it and you just knew that you were worthy of abundance, now that feeling that you put out there on a daily basis, minute by minute, hopefully most of the time, and we're humans, we're always going to be in and out of state. But now that belief of deserving, of knowing, supercharges that emotion. That emotion causes you to be in that peak state. When you're in that peak state, you are going to be operating from a psychology and physiology of success. All because you let go of the belief. So when people say, well, just radiate the feeling that you want, just feel that feeling. Well, yeah, logically, absolutely. That's exactly what we should do. It works, in my opinion, every time. But only every time once we have let go of the limiting beliefs we have about ourselves. So think about it, that yes, we want to radiate the feeling, the emotion, the happiness, the bliss, and all those things. But just before, if we think of like an order, it's going to be the belief, what we want to be clean and clear of first. Then you can supercharge that feeling. So the belief dictates the emotion. The emotion never dictates the belief. The feeling of fear is, for example, fear is a decision-based strategy. You're fearful of something. You're fearful because you've made a construct, an association to something which would be a thought or a belief system. So the thought or the belief will create that fear. So the thought and the belief is the beginning part of a strategy of getting what you want. So don't just put your mind in your emotion and think all's going to be well, unless you have that unstoppable, unrockable self-belief that you're going to get there, or be that person, then it's all good and great. But one limiting belief will create a big conflict, and maybe future beliefs, of limiting beliefs that is, because we didn't get what we want. We didn't, like we see other people using these processes and they was just told to feel the feelings. And it didn't happen for me. It didn't work. So therefore, it must be me who broke the system. But that's not true. You didn't break it. A limiting belief just put it off track. So be very clear on how you see the world on an internal way, as in based on your own identity in the world, your identity in relation to that goal or outcome, that dream that you have, or the belief that you have about something external which will be stopping you get there, like a belief about money is the root of all evil, or people are always bad people, they're always going to cheat. And that example is probably still a limiting belief because we've been attracting those kind of people that we're maybe not worthy to have good relationships because we've had bad experiences which made us believe that. And if we do think about it, if I believe I am not capable, or I believe the root of all evil, or money is the root of all evil, what emotion am I putting out there? I'm actually sending negative emotions to it. I'm trying to radiate consciously that positive, amazing feeling of the goal that I want. But if I'm unconsciously going, I don't like this, then the emotion starts to change. We're actually being conflicted even more. So you have to fix the belief to be able to radiate or put your mind and your body in the state of receiving. whether it be gratitude, whether it be inspiration, passion, and purpose. You need that feeling on the inside, but that feeling is generated or at least regulated by the belief you have about yourself or the goal in of itself. Does that make sense? We are not to just focus on emotions. In the same way, we're not just to focus on beliefs. In the same way, if we had the perfect belief system and therefore an amazing emotion that we're really radiating, if you're missing out taking the action, then you're not going to get there either. But the belief creates the emotion, and that should create the action to actually get going, to instigate change. No, I treat it like this in a positive, empowering way, that no one can make my goal happen. I don't need anyone to make it happen. Can they add to it? Absolutely. But I'm relying upon myself to instigate the change that I want, to instigate the experience of my life. Will I always get what I want? No. It's just life is life. Sadly, bad things happen. Sadly, we're not able to dictate everything. But you know what? I bet I'd far like to be more in control on the cause side of the cause and effect equation, to be more in charge of my results. Because if I'm in charge of my mind, I'm going to be in charge of my results. If someone else is in charge of my mind, then of course they're in control, in charge of our results. So yes, we have to take massive and inspired action to get what you want. No, you can't just radiate the greatness and feelings that you want, because there has to be action involved. Now, small disclaimer there though, because if I believe in the goal and myself in getting the goal, and I'm radiating that feeling, if I'm not taking action on my goal from those two starting points, something must be wrong, because that emotion and the belief should create action. It should cause you to move forward. If you move forward, you are learning and growing because of the challenge. You begin to see the challenge as an expansion of you. And to me, that is a bit of a blessing that, oh my goodness, I'm going through this event, this challenge, and it's going to cause me to be stretched. It's going to cause me to grow even. Not to say that, look, it doesn't make it okay or right. I mean, yeah, like I said, events can be really, really painful at times. It can be really hard. But I would like to, I've said this previously in a few episodes ago, I believe, if not, it was with my private group, but it's almost like a convenient assumption. I assume that if I have that belief, that mindset, it's going to aid me in the future. So it's more convenient. Doesn't make it true, doesn't make it not true. It's just a convenient assumption to have. So the beliefs that we have about ourselves will dictate our emotion. So do not fall for the trap that just feel the feeling. And then the law of attraction, the manifestation will happen, because it is not true, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but I'm telling you right now, in my belief system, I believe our beliefs will have an impact on the feelings we feel, the things that we do. So it's better to be clean and clear of all limiting beliefs about myself and beyond myself, because then when I feel that feeling of what I want and I radiate it there, I'm going to be inspired to do. I'll be energetically, psychologically, and physiologically aligned with my goal and outcome. There are more steps to the process other than just feeling the feelings or the secret stuff and all those kind of things. It's something that we need to really pay attention to. Otherwise, it can get kind of painful, and it can be like self-inflicted. Well, it's working for other people, it didn't work for me, so that must mean I'm the failure. And I don't want you to be in that position. I want you to know you are not broken. 100% not broken. In my opinion, you're one of the most amazing people in the world. I like to think that of you when I speak. I honestly, genuinely do. I was actually saying that on the call another day or two. If I really intend to try to speak to you as if you were here next to me, in front of me, and I want you to know you are not broken. You have everything you need within you. It's just some limiting beliefs which create negative emotions or events that we've gone through where we have these emotional attachments and associations, the conflicted values that we have around money, around relationships, around career, have just caused us to be off track for a while. It's caused us to feel conflicted. But at the beginning point of you and the end point of you and the deepest part of you, in my opinion, will be many of the following things. I believe you are peace. I believe that you are whole. I believe that you are love. I believe that you are that pureness deep within everyone. I really believe there is something there, but somewhere along the line, something happened and it caused us to have limiting thoughts, beliefs, and emotions and associations, which has made us think like this is all that there is. And therefore, my past will dictate my future, but it does not dictate your future. Your past will never dictate your future unless we believe in that to be true. But it's what we do in the now that will create the future. Because when we think about it, there is only the now. The now is accessible in every single moment, and our past is simply yet a memory, which can still be distorted, generalized, and deleted aspects to it based on the limiting beliefs, but it's a memory that we're holding, and the future is a presupposing of what might happen. So your past will not dictate your future unless you remain the same. But in order to change, you must decide right now, I'm going to uncover my limiting beliefs, which is creating this miscommunication of emotions, which is causing me to self-sabotage my behavior. I need to be able to reconnect with myself, understand my thoughts, my feelings of how I hold up the world, how I consider my goal, let go of that, and then feel those emotions. Because with the belief and the emotion, you're going to take action. When you take action, you're going to learn. Because you have belief and you're feeling good. You're going to go, it didn't happen right now. I'm going to learn because of this. I'm going to grow because of this event. And therefore, you create and cultivate a behavioral flexibility of adaptation. You're adapting from those so-called no's or failures or experiences where it didn't work out, and you're just going to go, I'm going to learn from this. This is an opportunity to be stretched. There's an opportunity to learn. There's an opportunity to get better. It's a challenge I'm willing to go within to see how much more of me there is to grow. Convenient assumption, as I said, but I like to believe, if I believe that to be true, I'm more likely to get my goals. But who am I? I mean, I've always said, look, you got to listen to whoever you're going to resonate with, like whether that's me or someone else. Are you listening to your sibling, your parents? Are you listening to the person down the road? Are you listening to the social media or the news? Are you listening to culture? Are you listening to your intuition? They're the kind of things you've got to consider. So consider that. Be conscious, in other words, because most of the time, our emotion and our beliefs which dictate our behavior, is unconscious. We don't consciously choose one day, well, I'm going to believe this. No, it just happens by just going through events. So recognize, rather running or going through life at an unconscious level. I think I may have said this before. I do so many podcasts. Like I said, it's 514 when this comes out, if we put it out. And it's almost like I think my hypnosis is trying to undo bad trances, past hypnotic suggestions which came because of significant events or what people told you and you took on uncritically at a deep unconscious level. So it's more about undoing bad trances and negative suggestions from life experience and people. And in order to do that, we must become conscious of our thoughts, become conscious of our beliefs that we hold, become conscious of the feelings that we have, because that's happening all the time beneath the surface. You are rarely, I'm going to guess, regulating your beliefs, regulating your thoughts, because it feels like it's just on autopilot. But we have to take a step back and really understand, who am I? What do I believe about myself? How's that affecting the feelings that I have? And what can I do about it? Am I going to work upon those? Because it's a lot less stressful in the long run if you just deal with it now rather than keeping it the same forever and ever and ever, or even a year from now or 10 years from now. It's better just to deal with it and go through it and resolve what you think is holding you back unconsciously. That, to me, is the key. So I hope you enjoyed that when it comes to the belief versus emotion. What one do we have to uncover to affect the other? So we've got quite a lot of comments right here as well. We've got a question here, and so I honestly really, really feel for you. And you say, how do you feel better after losing my son? So my thoughts, my love and sympathy is for you. Honestly believe that. I honestly want you to know that. And first of all, and this is for everyone as well, it's okay to feel emotion. I don't want people to always bury things, hide things. It's okay temporarily if we need to get out of pain to obviously unconsciously repress emotion. But we also have to honor that emotion. And I'm no bereavement counselor or anything like that, so please just take it as my thoughts and advice. And the first thing I would do would be to seek out a professional who could work with you on a one-to-one level, rather just a live video or a podcast or anything like that. I honestly believe we have to have some one-to-one support of some kind. And that can even be branched out to group as well, because once we connect with other people who have been through that, then we can make us feel less alone. We can grieve more in a more healthier way. So I want you to know that there is going to be people out there and support groups and people who are real professionals at this. People who became professionals because they went through the exact same experience. So I do want you to know it's so important to find that, rather just taking my other advice that I may suggest to you. But work through that, honor the emotions that you feel, because they are normal, they are natural, and I don't want us to repress for too long. Yes, there's levels of repression and not to repress and so on like that, but I do feel like it's important to honor our feelings and to do that. Now, depending where you are, like I said, number one, seek out one-to-one group advice with this. I do have a free grief process. I know people who have personally emailed me and said it was literally life-changing, that it stopped them from things like suicide. So I do know it's pretty powerful. However, as I said, it's important to honor those feelings, to move with them and not just let them go. Because when we process them, and although that title, the grief, I don't even know what it is, but it's for free. Just type in grief, especially on the app in the hypnosis section, I believe. But it's important to honor the feelings, to allow them to go at the exact same time. So I think that would be my advice. Seek out personal, one-to-one and group help, and then that should be able to help you. And I honestly think that would be a great thing. And that's for everyone going through something significant. Look, if we were like speaking on one-to-one, like you were in this office with me, then then I would be really comfortable, more so comfortable with kind of doing work with you. But for everyone out there, the hypnosis app, I believe, is good. I believe it really transforms people. The free podcasts and the free episodes, I do them because I want to help people. Well over 500 now. But on the same hand, if you are going through something very significant and you need immediate help, don't just rely on a podcast. Don't just rely on a hypnosis session. Seek out advice and use the hypnosis as a complementary tool to help you. Because it is just an audio. I don't want to try and downplay my work in my audio, whether it be free or paid. But look, having one-to-one help, if you're in a very highly stressful situation, like severe, something like such a big loss there, I really want you to get out of that pain or process it in a professional setting. So just know my thoughts are with you, and you can always, once you're kind of seeing one-to-one and group and things like that, send me an email, joseph@josephclough.com, and I'll point you to that grief track or another track or something like that. But please go ahead and find some one-to-one help as well. So just to recap this experience of the title of today, which was belief versus emotion, and I will take other questions if anyone has questions, by the way. But the really thing I want you to know is just a roundup that your emotions that we're told to be able to just feel feelings and then it will become a reality is a lie. And the only way it would not be a lie is if you had the most unstoppable self-belief and you're clean and clear of your beliefs, because then you're in deep alignment. That's the generator of emotion half the time, which creates inspiration. But if you're not getting what you want by just radiating those feelings and thinking positive, then you might want to be looking into the belief aspect, because the belief will dictate your emotions, and therefore your emotions will dictate, or your belief and emotions will dictate your behavior. You have an unstoppable belief with profound emotions, you will be free of all self-sabotaging behaviors. That is going to create the change that is needed. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, go ahead and download the free hypnosis app. Just type in Joseph and Hypnosis in your app store, download it. You'll get all the free episodes in the app, plus a whole lot more, where you can create custom hypnosis tracks and things like that, semi-custom. And that's going to really, really help you. And once again, if you want to get on these live videos, go to youtube.com/Joseph Clough, CLOUGH, Joseph Clough, youtube.com/Joseph Clough. Or if you are wanting, and there's very, very specific for the individual, if you want to let go of bigger conflicts and have one-to-one help, and it's more for your business, career, development, just saying out there, that's what it's more about, is developing your business or career by releasing the limiting beliefs, then I would definitely go ahead to josephclough.info/go, where you book a call with our team, and then you'd go ahead and fill out your application. And that means we can see if we can help you or not. I want to thank you also, Vicky and Laura, Vicky said, best app ever. And Laura said, I agree, Vicky, very, very effective. Well, just know that I love and appreciate you all. And I always like doing these live, especially when people are tuning in. Otherwise, I'm just speaking to myself, which I guess is okay to a degree. But it's nice to get feedback and see your wonderful pictures, what you're writing to me, and I think that's amazing. And so thank you ever so much. And thank you, Vicky, once again. Perfect. You're successful in your life now. That is wonderful. So with that, my wonderful friends, I will leave you to a wonderful evening, unless it is your morning around the world or your afternoon. And I will speak to you all very, very soon. Many thanks and goodbye.